to thank everybody for coming out, taking time out of their schedule to come and start off our school year, and more specifically our athletic year, out in a positive manner. We're going to talk about several things, different things tonight. If you did not make your way over to that table, there are some you need to sign up, and there are some items for you to pick up before you leave. If you have any questions throughout the presentation, please feel free to write them down, and I'll answer any questions you guys may have at the end of the presentation. This is a fall sports parent meeting, so if you do not have a kid playing fall sports, you do not have to be here. We are going to have one of these meetings every season, but you, as a parent, you only have to come to one of these meetings a year unless this really excites you to come to a rules meeting every season. Then you can come to one every season. Welcome to the new school year. I'm sure the kids in here are really excited for school to start. I'm sure the parents are a lot more excited for school to start than the kids are. I am Jason Dreyer. I'm the athletic director here at Jefferson High School. Over there in the bright pink shirt is Andrea Hanlock. She is the athletic secretary. If you guys have any questions or need anything, she's got all the information over there. Also sitting over there are all our fall sports head coaches. I will introduce them individually here in a little while. Again, I want to thank you guys for coming out and taking time out of your schedule. We're going to talk about a few school updates and then also some updates from MSHSAA. When I'm talking about MSHSAA, I'm talking about the Missouri State High School Activities Association, which we are members of. MSHSAA governs all the high school and middle school athletic events here in the state of Missouri. Jefferson High School promotes our student athletes, coaches, parents, and fans to pursue good sportsmanship. Respect, responsibility, integrity, leadership, and good sportsmanship are some of the values that our school and coaches try to embed in our student athletes every day. I ask that you trust the athletic department and the coaches that we are making the best decisions for each and every student. Help us promote and build young men and women of character. Students and coaches at Jefferson High School are held to higher standards. Right or wrong, they are held to higher standards than those who do not compete in athletics. Help us provide your students with the very best experience possible. That is our goal here at Jefferson. Teach your students to communicate with coaches even when things are going good. With all the new technology these days, communication is getting lost with the younger generation, unless it's on Twitter or Facebook or you're texting. So try to teach your students to be an advocate with them and their coaches. Try to make them, promote them to talk to their coaches. We do have a system in place that should help eliminate some problems between players and coaches and parents and coaches. I call the system a 24-hour rule. Please do not attempt to confront a coach before, during, or after a game. Coaches spend hours upon hours preparing for a game, and emotions are high for everyone, not just the coaches, but the athletes, the fans, and the parents as well. These are emotional times that do not result in a positive outcome the majority of the time. I believe that communication between a player and a coach is vital for the success and the relationship of a team. So urge your students to be responsible for themselves. We do not have a coach up here or an assistant coach that's sitting out in the stands that is not unapproachable, that will not take the time out to talk to your students. So please promote to your kids to talk to every coach. Please don't contact the coaches, parents, with any issues until you're positive that your student has done so already. There's nothing worse for a coach to be blindsided by a parent about a problem when the coach didn't know that there was a problem to begin with. So please stress to your child to constantly communicate with coaches. If for some reason a problem does persist, we ask that a parent or both parents request a conference with the coach. The student will be present in that meeting as well, if we do have to have that meeting, for accuracy of information. After that meeting, if for some reason the problem does still persist, you may request a meeting with myself, and during that meeting it will be me, the head coach, the parent, and all the student will have to be there also. If after that meeting there is still, we still have an issue, then you may request a meeting with the high school principal as well. At Jefferson High School, we want to be good role models of good sportsmanship. We all, students, coaches, parents, and fans, need to cooperate together and make All right, switching gears, physicals. Mission requires that every student fills out a physical form and has it on file here at the high school. If you do not have, or if you have your form on a doctor's physical form, we will staple it to the Mission form, but you will need to fill out all the other pertinent information on the Mission form. Please make sure that all 4 pages of the document is filled out correctly and completely. Otherwise, your child will not be able to practice until that happens. The physical will be good for this whole school year. It had to be after February 1st, 2014. If your child shows up the first day of practice and their physical isn't filled out or isn't completely filled out, they may stay and watch, but they are not going to be allowed to participate. That practice, if that happens, will not count as one of the mandatory 14 days of practice, which every student needs to get before they can participate in the game. Insurance, Mishra's policy states that every student athlete in the state of Missouri has to be covered by insurance. If this is an issue for anyone or anybody you know, please have them talk to me tonight, and we can try to figure out a plan to get your child insurance, and so they'll be able to participate. We don't want a child not to be able to participate because they cannot get insurance. Concussion information. You that went over to the table see that there was some information over there for concussions. As an athletic director, I'm mandated by MSHA to let you know where the information is. There's some information on the table and also on our new athletic website, JeffersonBlueJays.com. There is a lot more concussion information if you want to look at it there. I encourage everybody to pick up that information, especially if you're a football parent. If a child does get a concussion, after a concussion, there is a return to play form that must be filled out before they can return to practice. The athletic office will give the coach and that student that form if that should happen. The return to play form is a safety procedure set in place to make sure that we aren't rushing a student back after a concussion. A concussion is a very serious injury, and we do not want to ruin the student's future because we rush them back after a concussion. Our handbook. Misha has their handbook, and Jefferson High School has our own athletic handbook also. We're going to try to stay green. Our handbook's about 18 pages. We didn't feel like printing off about 100 copies for tonight. Our athletic handbook in full is online on our new athletic website. We are going to cover most of our athletic handbook tonight, but there is a little bit of it that we will not cover. So if you want to go on our activities website, you may look for it on there. What you do have out of our athletic handbook tonight is that second packet that you picked up was the two last pages of our athletic handbook. Those 2 pages are going to be required to be signed by you and by your student and returned to your coaches that they're playing for before they're going to be able to participate in the game. They can practice without you signing it, but before they can participate in the game, we're going to have it turned back into the coach. If you did not pick one up, there's some extra copies over on the table. Eligibility, we're going to talk about eligibility and how students can maintain their eligibility. The first one is attendance. On a day of a game, a student must be at school a full day to participate in that game without approval of a high school administrator. Now, if you have a doctor's note or a kid is sick and they can't come in until 11 or 12, if you will call up to the high school beforehand and talk to either Mr. Howard, the principal, or myself, we can grant approval for that student to come in a little later or miss the class and then play that night. But we need to be proactive if that happens. If there is no communication and a student shows up halfway through the day, that student will not be eligible for that night. Same thing goes for if we have a Saturday contest, that attendance requirement goes back to that Friday. I know that there's things that pop up from time to time that we don't have any control over, so we're asking you to be proactive and contact myself or Mr. Howard of the high school. Academics. If you're a freshman coming from 8th grade, you're automatically eligible. First semester of a high schooler's athletic career is free for graduating from middle school. After that, starting your second semester, your freshman year through all the way through 12th grade, you have to have a minimum of, be enrolled in a minimum minimum of 6 classes, and you have to pass a minimum of 6 classes, and your eligibility goes back to your previous semester. So basically, you have to pass 6, here at Jefferson we have 7 classes. You have to pass 6 of your 7 classes to be eligible. Moving on to citizenship requirements. Attached to your guys' outline are the MSHA and the Jefferson R7 guidelines for citizenship. It states that students who represent a school in interscholastic activities must be credible citizens and judged so by the proper authority. Law enforcement. A student who commits an act for which charges may be or have been filed by law enforcement authorities shall not be eligible until all proceedings with the legal system have been concluded and any penalty or special condition of probation has been satisfied. So if a student has community service or a fine that they have to pay, the student will not be eligible until all that is taken care of and their court date is taken care of. If a law enforcement authorities determine that charges will not be filed, eligibility will be contingent upon local school policies. Moving traffic offenses shall not affect eligibility unless they involve drugs, alcohol, or other charges. So an example is if a student would go out on a Saturday night, they would get an MIP, and they would receive a court date for that MIP. That student would be ineligible until the court date is over and all the penalties are taken care of, whether it's community service or a fine or anything else. After that is taken care of, if the school has any further punishment, the school may proceed with their further punishment. The athletic director, the coaches, and the principal have the rights to put stricter guidelines on their athletes. Moving on to other sports in season, whether it is a club sport or AAU. You may participate in another sport, but it is not a school sport. All school sports take priority over a club season or an AAU season. So games and practices cannot be missed for a club sport unless given permission by your coach. All those are some things that they need, that students and parents need to know to maintain their eligibility. Athletic eligibility is a privilege given by the school to the student. It is not a right. These students are looked up to by our younger generation, and they need to be good role models for them. If we have any college-bound student athletes in here, if you have a student that plans on participating in athletics in college, let the athletic director, the high school counselor, and the high school coach know as soon as possible. You can visit the NCAA or the NAIA clearinghouse websites for more information, and that information is mainly for juniors and seniors. Now, high school coaches, the counselor, and the athletic director are all here to support and to help the students get to college. And just a reminder that athletic scholarships, if you've had any kids going through college, academic scholarships are worth a lot more than athletic scholarships. That's why we all need to stress that the classroom comes first. Let's talk about a couple of dates this fall that you guys should have on your calendar. The first one is Friday, August 15th. We're going to have our fall sports preview night that night. It has changed a little bit here in the last week or two. Cross country is going to start at 4 p.m. Softball is going to have a scrimmage at 4 p.m. Volleyball is going to have a scrimmage at 5 p.m. And then football is going to have at blue versus white. So there's not going to be any other teams for our football scrimmage. It's just going to be Jefferson R7 at 7:30 that night. Volleyball and softball will have other schools here. Also going on Friday the 15th is team pictures is going to be that day for every high school sport. Forms will be sent out by the coach to the kids at a later date. Everybody should have got a little blue sheet that is sitting over there on the table. We have a new athletic website this year for high school, for Jefferson High School Athletics. I encourage everybody to log on to that. That has all the information that you will need for our high school athletics. That blue sheet also has our Twitter information and our Facebook information. If you would follow us on Twitter, or if you like our Facebook page, every time we post something on our athletic website, it is going to go out on Twitter and it's going to go out on Facebook. Like I said, that one should answer a lot of your guys' questions. If you would just visit that periodically, if you have any questions, we should have all of our information on there. Also on our website, if you would go to a specific sport, let's say you go to football and you click on their schedule, if you need directions to any game, if you click on that specific sport, make sure if you did not grab a blue sheet of paper over there, I encourage everybody to grab one before you leave. The next item that I believe is attached also is the MSHA, the self-reporting guideline. It is each student's responsibility to notify the school of any and all situations that would affect his or her eligibility. If the student does not notify the school of a situation prior to the school's discovery, that student will be ineligible for up to 365 days from that discovery. So this puts the responsibility on the students. Kids are going to make mistakes. They just need to make sure that they own their mistakes and let the school know. So an example would be if somebody would get an MIP on a Saturday, they would need to let the school know by no later than Monday. We understand with the new technology with Facebook and Twitter and everything, a coach or a teacher or an administrator might find out something on Sunday, but we can wait until Monday for the kid to come and report that to the school. As I said, students make mistakes. We are not here to ruin any student's career, but instead we want to help them along and help them mature as young adults and help them make better decisions. ISS and OSS, so in-school suspension or out-of-school suspension. If a student athlete is placed on in-school suspension or out-of-school suspension, they will not be allowed to practice or participate or play in games until their suspension is served. A coach may require that reasonable practice time and general conditioning missed by an athlete be made up before the athlete may participate in the contest. If it happens multiple times, then a permanent restriction of athletics will be considered. So if somebody has ISS for 3 days, they will not be able to practice for the first 2 days. That third day, they will be able to practice. A couple other dates for you guys is on Wednesday, September 17th, we are going to have our Letterman's jacket order. Jostens is going to be here, so if anybody's looking to order a Letterman's jacket, on Wednesday, September 17th, Jostens will be here for that. Also over on the tables are our season passes. We have 3 different levels of season passes. If you want an individual pass, they are $20. That will get you into all our home high school and middle school contests. We also have our family pass that will be good for everybody in your immediate family, which costs $80. That will get you into all of our middle school and high school home contests. And something new that we're going to try this year is going to be a tailgating pass. This is going to cost $200 per family, but it's going to let you get into every home game and for middle school and high school. So basically a family pass, which will cost $80. And then we are going to have a tailgating meal for every varsity home football game, for one home basketball game, and for one home baseball game. That will be good for your whole family. So if you're looking at it, a family pass is $80. A tailgating family pass is $200. So you're spending an extra $120 for a minimum of 7 extra meals for your entire family. If we do end up hosting a playoff football game, we will have meals there. So you're looking at a minimum of 7, somewhere up to 10 games this fall that you can have your whole family, you can have a meal before the game. Some more information is over there with Mrs. Haymock. If you guys have any questions about that, I'd be happy to answer some more afterwards if you have any questions. If we have any transfers in here that I have not met, so this would be your first year at Jefferson High School. If you did not sign the transfer list over there, before you leave, if you would come see me and sign that list, I will need to do a transfer form on you on the MSHA website, and I'm going to start doing that tomorrow. And I will need your help if there are some questions that the parents need help for. So if you guys can go over there, sign up, and leave your number on there, I will be calling you tomorrow. Students that are transferring in, they can still practice, but they will not be eligible to play a game until MSHA okays that transfer. So I will need to put a transfer form on for you guys tomorrow. Now I'm going to introduce our head coaches over there. They put in a lot of time this summer and over the past year to make sure that this season is a success for everybody. The first one over there is Dana Wisdom. She is our cheer coach and our dance coach. Jimmy Tucker, he is our football coach. Robert Cooley, he is our softball coach. Ashley Nagel, she's our volleyball coach. Also, we've got assistant coaches sitting out and about that are here as well. As I said earlier, each coach up here and all of our assistant coaches wants what's best for your child, and none of them are unapproachable. So I encourage everybody to introduce yourselves to the coach tonight. They'll start building that relationship. It is now time for your individual sport meetings. Football is going to be here in the gym. You guys are going to stay in the gym. Softball is going to go to the cafeteria. Cross country is going to be in Mrs. Huger's room. If you go straight down the hallway, you'll run right into it. Volleyball is going to be in the choir room, which you'll go down the hallway and take the first right. The choir room is the first room on the left. And cheer and dance is going to be in Mr. Cooper's room, which is straight down, all the way down the hallway. We're going to try to start these meetings in 5 minutes. I want to thank everybody again for coming out and taking time out of your schedule. I'm looking forward to a great year. Does anybody have any questions? All right, you guys may go and try to start those meetings in 5 minutes.